Yeah, but
Like,
you know,
no.
if you think about it, a lot of humanity has been farming for a long time, and farmers
Yeah.
with cattle plus wolves, bad combo.
I think that
That's
was one of the other concerns as
why the
well.
farmers give tribute to the fairy of the forest, so the fucking wolves don't attack their cattle. We gotta go back to the old ways.
And then Connor's
yeah.
fucking fairy godbrother shows up. It's like, oh, okay.
I mean, that's what happened for you guys. We got the Apex Predator mantle.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Man, having just like a cup of applesauce for breakfast was not a great idea.
Oh,
Yeah,
That's good
sounds alright.
applesauce, though.
Isn't
Alright, I
applesauce
was gonna
really
ask-
something you'd put on something rather than just like eat raw?
Yeah.
Wait, no, most of the time when I see people, they just have like a little like cup of it.
It's not a meal by itself. Let's all agree on that one.
Yeah,
Like,
I've had pudding cups in a while. I don't know that.
Yeah.
What's some tapioca
Mhm.
pudding?
I think my highlight was when I had ice cream for breakfast. That was my
Nice.
Hell yeah, that's what being an adult means. God damn it.
yeah. That was like prime student days right there. Right.
Welcome to college. You eat ramen and nothing else.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm gonna start actually being proactive and stuff.
Go wild.
Literally, some part of me died inside when I said that. It's like you don't have to be proactive for like at least another hour, but whatever. So, a couple of points of order. It's only been 23 minutes since I last looked at the clock. I felt like an hour ago. Oh well. Anyways, points of order. First of which is, what do you guys want to have happen to your previous campaign characters? Not the mini campaign; those ones are dead, except for one of you.
We probably
Yeah,
wish
those
they
guys
were.
Oh.
Or wait, no.
But
Ignore me.
yeah, those characters is fine. Yeah. But yeah, what do you guys want to have happen to your previous crew?
Well, that's a good point.
The options I have on the table, because I'm not gonna let you guys have infinite options, because I'll be here for hours, more so than usual. You guys could have them just not exist. You could have them as part of the first wave as opposed to the second, which means that likelihood is they're KIA at this point.
Ba-da-ba-da.
And I'm open to suggestions for the third option. The fourth option is they're in the second wave, except they're just not like the Vanguard team. Because that stuff hasn't happened. We're rewinding the clock back to the beginning.
Would our group going
Yeah.
in be the Vanguard team then?
Yes, essentially.
Okay.
Or I don't know. I think that particular answer is dependent on your guys' response to my next question, but we'll get there when we get there. So yeah, what do you guys want to have happen to your previous characters? First waivers, I'm open to other suggestions. Literally, they don't exist. Or they're hero food in the second wave that's not as important. I think there might be a bit of continuity error for the last one, but
Yeah, like maybe first waivers, I guess.
it's up to
I
you
like
guys.
the idea of them coming in a second wave, but I feel like we're just trampling on too many toes at that point.
Yeah,
A little
yeah.
bit. Good. I'd be fine with the first waiver thing, but first waiver would mean they like probably die in the Night of Tempest,
Probably.
unless something else happens for him.
Probably.
Got sucked
Yeah,
up into the wells and never returned.
I'm fine with Ward having arrived with the first wave.
Okay. I'm not sure if O was there, or his mic is muted as well. Okay.
That's fine. Okay.
All right, you guys are now designated as first waivers. If I were to write quick epilogues, why you're probably still alive. You don't escape infernal deaditude that easily, so you're probably in hell. Good job.
Oh, okay. Fun.
Yeah. So with that,
You're alive. I wish you weren't.
Ward is probably MIA as opposed to KIA.
Right.
Sandra, you're probably KIA.
Aww.
And Russian, probably just through hatred of Scornken, is also KIA. to cleanse the sickness, and then you had a wave of sickness approaching you. So yeah, you're probably KIA. So we have, and as for Minius, probably MIA, probably captured by their fairy lady, and is being swooned upon somewhere in the Feywilds, somewhere, or back in the provinces, maybe, actually, I think about it. But yeah, stuff like that. Where'd Ting go? Sleepy boy, keeping me up, making me
Eternal
sleepy too.
damnation.
Yeah. So yeah, one of you's in hell, one of you's a boy toy, one of you's missing, and two of you are dead. You know, I think it's a pretty fair way to end a campaign. My fair lady, yeah, basically.
I don't know about dead, but happily resting.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. No.
Sandra died mad that she didn't get the answer she wanted, but still
I
died.
can definitely see Ward just finding a piece of nature and being like, I need to go here and heal it. Just kidding. I don't know. Sucked into the earth or something.
Yeah.
JK lol.
That's sort of the thing. Like, that's sort of the thing. Like, a lot of people's fates in the during not just the Night of Tempest itself, but the oncoming wave of the war horde of Scornken. Like, a lot of people's fates are unknown. Most people just assume KIA. If not, then they're MIA.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's a war, more or less. So doesn't need answers. Just a casualty report. I'm putting an episode Band of Brothers on my end just to have that in the background, and I'm hoping that seeing all the cool Band of Brothers people is gonna wake me up a bit. But anyways, the next question is a question of meta play, right? Well, I guess not meta. Well, it is and it isn't. You'll see what I mean. So we talked about in the previous campaign, the mini campaign rather. A previous stint, we'll say. You guys seem to really like that exploration style. Is that a fair gauge? True. Speak now, forever hold thy peace, or whatever. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You like that? Mm-hmm. Between that and the OG campaign, the original Colonial game, which one would you say you prefer more? No hard feelings because I ran both of them, so I don't care either way.
Oh, I definitely think the latter is such a smooth transition into whatever you're going into.
I like the
ladder as in the OG campaign.
Oh no,
Oh, sorry, the later
Ladder
one.
of the two options.
yeah, later.
The ladder. Okay, yeah, we'll go like this: original campaign and then mini campaign. We'll do like that.
Mini campaign personally, and the main reason for that is I like because both are exploration themed, but I like the sort of freedom to maneuver within a set goal.
Okay.
Personal preference.
Direction.
Yeah.
For you, what are your thoughts on it? I said your thoughts. Oh,
sorry, I didn't hear the O part.
I loved it because I think it's such a smooth transition into things that keeps things neat and concise.
what do you mean by that?
So if we're going to move into like a new thing, it gives us a really nice macro element to like hone it in, so we can deep dive into the important stuff while not getting bogged down in the show.
Okay. I'm not sure that's a matter of. It's a matter of the style of how we do exploration, but it is a matter of technique at the time. I'll look into that a bit more. But okay, I think I get what you're saying though. You, Garth?
I kind of go back and forth. I like the idea of the first one, but it also felt like the second one we were definitely making faster progress. Like the potential, if we had played longer, it would have been faster progress in my head.
Well, it's a bit of an unfair comparison for that because
yeah. You know,
I personally was trying to push it to be faster, and also you guys didn't mind me pushing it as much because you guys weren't as attached to these characters. Like, I told you not to write a whole backstory for them. I told you they're for the mini campaign, which may have evolved to a normal campaign. Who knows? But
By the way, Crash, I figured out a reason why the family calls themselves Magnus.
why is that?
Cautionary tale.
Yeah, it makes sense now. Kirsty, what are your thoughts on the matter? Which one did you prefer, exploration style wise? First campaign or OG campaign versus the mini campaign?
I mean, I don't really feel like we played the mini campaign enough to really.
That's
know,
fair.
to be honest.
But from
Yeah.
the small taste of it, because I probably would have continued along that same style.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I preferred the original, but
Okay.
I think if you
I
could
can't
combine
really-
the. Oops, sorry.
no, you go on. Pretty much just.
No, it was your time to talk.
I was just going to let
Do you-
you go. Yeah.
Do you know why? Can you pinpoint why you like the first one more?
I quite liked how he sort of picked what missions you could do, if you know what I mean. Like, he has that sort of, you know, when we're doing that mini bit with all the little bits. And
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I quite
Okay.
like that aspect of it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get you. You liked having the freedom of choice to
Yeah,
decide
yeah.
which mission you want. Okay.
Yeah, sort of what direction we wanted to sort of go in.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
like more control over like the overall story, if you know what
I mean, yeah, that's what happens when you play an actual campaign versus a mini campaign, which is basically a really long one shot extended like a 7-shot.
I mean. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Senko's a 3-shot.
I know. She died too soon.
Ba-da-ba-da.
Okay.
I think if you could find a way to combine the mini campaign with the time you were traveling to oh fuck, what was in the other town?
Crossguard Ridge.
Yes. If you combine like those two, I think that would probably be the best of both worlds.
Thoughts?
The thing I like about it is because it feels like a Star Wars intro, right? Like you get the like the heavy points of the thing at hand, and then you, instead of exploring everything, you really get to focus on what's important.
Okay, so you sort of like the focus of it then?
Yeah, like it gives you the backdrop for everything, so you're not just going into it blind.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, I can sympathize with that logic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Also, Garth, are you recording today or no?
Oh yeah, I am.
Okay, just wondering. Might go back and listen to this again when I'm less tired.
Sure.
Okay. Because you guys are talking about when we started doing that, like, post first session, the mini campaign stuff. It sounded like you guys both liked the characters and the campaign, the mini campaign.
Yeah.
Characters are in your guys' hands. I don't make your characters, so you guys could literally repeat your mini campaign character now. It'd just be a bit contextually and setting wise a bit weird because one was raised in a tyrannical age, and this one is, I mean, I guess it's a monarchy, maybe not less than a tyranny, but it's still pretty bad.
Instead
it's
of
not
Jace,
bad.
he's Mace and has a mace. Boom.
Of course.
Anyways,
Wouldn't do. Anyways, so there is that, but there's also now the campaign itself. I was pondering that in specific about what is it that you guys liked more about that. Because, you know, live and learn, improving DMing style, etc., whatever. And I was wondering about, obviously there was a circumstance set before you, and I think brought that up. Like, it really is like you just got info dumped, like, hey, this is what you gotta do, go do it. And then you guys are just free to go set about the general objective task at hand, etc. I think, going to your point, Kirsty, like being able to decide what the objective actually is probably pretty cool. I think we're gonna keep that. So don't worry about that too much. Because the mini campaign is a mini campaign. I can't like play out like a billion scenarios. I wanted you guys to just have a task and then just go at the task, and it's a very straightforward task, relatively. So don't worry about that. But my thoughts wandered over to specifically the style of how you guys explored, which is to say that the biggest contrast to me in the style of exploration from the OG campaign to the mini campaign is how easy it was to recover in between. Which is to say, in the OG campaign, you guys literally went back to town after every expedition. And town was within a day or so, with the couple of exceptions of the Brambleheart and Crossguard Ridge. So those are like the 2 exceptions. In all other cases, your bodies, if need be, were in about a day's worth of travel to recover. So being able to go back alive was a much more easier prospect. Versus that of the mini campaign, where the closest thing you guys have to a home base is literally 3 tents, some fires, and 9 blokes out in the mountains. About 3 days from either of the towns. So, safety, I guess you might call it, comfort, is the comfort of civilization, we'll say, is much farther away in the mini campaign than as opposed to the OG game. Going with that, I was going to play around with that idea. I think for our purposes, because I don't want to distill it down to just a West Marches style game where it's pretty. I don't want to make the information drop so clear cut and uninteractable, which is essentially how your guys' mini campaign was. Like, if your guys' requests for information were basically short-halted, or you're just simply told, we don't know, and stuff like that. I don't think I'd be keeping that. Not to that degree, at least, for what I'm planning this new campaign to be. Because this is a much more capable scenario and setting, and also there are entire groups dedicated to getting you guys information and stuff like that. Yes, they have their limits, but they still should be capable. Like, you guys aren't the only smart people in a town full of idiots. It's, if anything, you guys are a bunch of smart people in a town full of smart people. And I'm sure any doctor can tell you it's a hyper-competitive scenario, and you guys are probably at something similar. So, boasts of competence are probably a plenty.
If I hone it down a little bit, more specifically, I think it's the sense of purpose in the mini campaign is very nice.
Okay.
It gives a little clear. It makes it easier to push forward when you have a direction to go. If that direction is a choice, I mean, then you have multiple avenues you can decide to go down. I think that is a nice marriage of the two.
Okay. So, would you guys say you prefer simpler objectives then?
Ooh, that's a tricky question.
Yeah.
I don't think it's exactly similar.
A good number of your guys' missions in the OG game were investigation based. Check out what's up with the crack in the wall. The centipede was find and kill, which I guess is its own form of investigation. But at the end of the day, you're just there to kill it. Crossguard Ridge is go look around the town and then find out where the booze is. And I guess deal with the other stuff too, whatever. But mostly find out where the booze is. Stuff like that. So would you guys say you want more clear-cut objectives in the sense of we know where the target is, go eliminate it? Or that location, we know where it is, what's around it, secure it?
For me, it's less about that. It's more like there's a problem, for example, there's a problem in town. We need a solution. These possible choices could provide a solution to that. Which one do you want to pursue?
Don't leave it completely open-ended. Give us a variety of options so we actually have
Okay,
choice.
so basically, Lena should actually put a bit less faith in your guys'
yes
creative aspect abilities and then just do it herself.
Yes.
Gotcha. I mean, that might suit you, Lena. You guys will notice this. Lena does give a speech when you guys step down from the second wave. She's missing a normal arm now, and she's up. She's down a normal arm, up one
Robo
artifice one. Yeah.
Beep boop.
Bionic mage arm.
Oh.
Something like that. It's basically more like not cyberpunk, steampunk-esque, except not steam, magic. Magic.
Ah. Yeah.
Yeah, she lost it. All because of Eric's new backstory, so I guess you could blame him.
Ooh.
Just kidding. But yeah, Okay, if that's the case, then I think I can work with that. I can give you guys options and like more clear objective options, or more or clear objectives, and then they'll allow you guys the options of either the objectives or the method to tackle the objective.
I think
Maybe
I
it's
think an addendum to that though is with more clear objectives.
There you go.
I think it would be good if like we could use a similar system for like a downtime between them.
Yeah, I was pondering that as well, because I think it's a weird thing, because I believe that downtime is like a good character building time, and you guys definitely proved that with the previous campaign. But at the same time, it does also have it's really easy to get slog in minutia during downtime too. So I tried multiple methods I've experimented with different methods for you guys and stuff like that. I don't think any of them are even like winning tickets, to be honest. So I think we might experiment with that still in this coming campaign. I'm trying to think of some more stuff, read up on more other solutions, because those are the ones I stole and didn't work as well as I wanted to. So we'll see with that. I get what you're saying though. Like definitely downtime. Like there's definitely it's like a filler arc for like an anime.
It's the beach episode.
I'll ponder that more. But I'm just focusing more on the expeditionary stuff concurrently. So I had the idea. I was discussing this with Garth, because prior to asking you guys literally right now, I was under the assumption that the biggest variable, we'll call it, between OG and mini campaign was the prevalence of town being so close and stuff like that. I think I'm gonna do, because before you guys got your mission in town, you left town to go to that objective, completed that objective, and came back to town. I'm thinking what I'm gonna do now for the new campaign is actually what would have happened for you guys in the mid game for that campaign once we had gotten that far. Is in the so if you look at the map, or look at not the map, but look at the Roll20. If we pretend as if green is Driftweaver's Bay, and there's like a perimeter at which of area that you guys would excursion out to, and then do objectives in and then come back. Eventually you guys would have to go so far that you wouldn't be in this perimeter anymore.
By the way, I don't think you put us on the same page as you.
Fuck.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
There we go.
Yeah. So yeah, if we imagine that the green X is Driftweaver's Bay and the purple dashes are like the perimeter area in which that they would like continuously keep send you out just from town itself. Eventually you guys would have to get so far away from town that it wouldn't be logistically efficient to have you constantly go back to town. So what would then instead happen is they would set up a new area of sorts. But instead of you going back to town, you would instead operate out of an outpost. And then go to 4, 5, etc., etc. So that's how the OG campaign would have gone eventually, given time. I'm thinking what we're going to do now is we're essentially going to skip that, but sort of we're going to skip the first step and then sort of mitigate the second step. So now, instead of you guys having to eventually get to the threshold at which we just start using outposts, now instead what will happen is that, let's get the colors. There we go. Well, now instead happen is Expedition or Driftweaver's Bay, moreover, will just operate a series of outposts. And then it is from these outposts that you guys will have your own operational area in.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, what I'm saying is how the new campaign is going to work is that you guys won't be going back to town. Like, you guys' trips back to town will be very, very comparatively sparse. I mean, comparatively is like a bit as hard threshold to be when you went back to town literally after every expedition. But my point stands.
You know what might be interesting to think about?
Then on
The darkest dungeon approach.
that's essentially what the OG campaign was, because you guys would go back to town,
No,
go back out.
hear me out. Where you have like an option of like hey, here's a short, here's a medium, here's a long one.
I was thinking the same.
I can't do that because I can't gauge how long stuff will take.
Yeah,
Which it is, but like do
It
that
really
based
depends
on,
on you guys.
distance.
I guess.
There's something like close. There's this like, and
There's long in the sense of it takes a long time to play through, and then there's narrative distance. I'm thinking more narrative distance.
I get that. I'll try to play around with that to some degree, but I don't think it's as clear cut and simple as that.
Fair.
Mostly because Darkest Dungeon is a game. It's very clear cut what you're getting into. This is a story based role playing game. If I made it so obvious that short ones are going to be short every time, you guys will know how to do it. I want tricks. I want real life to fuck you, because that's how real life is. So that's why I don't want to put in labels in the first place. I can put distance to rough degrees. I think that was probably, when I gave you guys all your rumors and stuff like that, the two biggest things were how far is it and if there was a timeline to it, or a deadline to it. When it came to deciding which of the 15 rumors you guys had, which one you would go pursue, it always came down to that. How far is it? Is there a deadline?
Part of it, I think.
First.
Yeah, part of it for me is also I feel a very sentimental attachment to Driftweaver's Bay. So having limiting the amount of time that the location is available, it would be nice to have it accessible, more than less.
Okay.
because it is the major source of like farming.
Yeah, I suppose in that sense, yeah.
Yeah, like drinking out in the. That's sort of the bit. Like, yeah, it could be fun and adventuring in the world to, drink while you're camping out, going to hunt the giant centipede. But then there's like the realistic side of the campaign where your character's like, why the fuck would we be loud and drinking in the middle of the night when there's an ambush stalker centipede about, and we know that it ambushes stuff in it and when they go to sleep? Why would we do that? Like, it's like that, right? We can't, like, you want this, but the world is like, okay, sure, but me realistically playing the world, I'm gonna kill you, or try to. So it's like that, which is why I think town time is important, because there's a clear difference of atmosphere between them.
Yeah, gotta come down with a bit of R&R every now and then.
Yeah. Now I am
do the,
left with more
the shore leave
questions.
kind of thing. So can
Yes
you go
and
certain
no.
periods of
It's
time and then yeah.
yes and no. I don't want a repeat of the OG campaign's downtimes because those are really slogged.
Yeah.
Like, they really were.
Uh-huh.
It dances the fine line of being clear cut so that we don't waste too much. I say waste, I shouldn't say waste. We spend too much time on the matters, but at the same time spending enough time on them so that you guys felt like your downtime was actually relevant, worthwhile.
Mm-hmm.
Saying, oh, I want to be friends with Darcy and Oris, and then having you roll persuasion, you fail the roll, and then, all right, nothing happened. It's a bit of a waste.
Yeah, I suppose I can see that part.
And it was pretty simple for some of you because all you guys literally wanted to do was just drink. So that made it a bit simpler, but yeah, like, I can't rely on that all the time.
It's something that was more complicating things unnecessarily. You'd think.
Basically. So, yeah, like, it's a fine line to dance upon. I think if I did the outpost idea, it would definitely do like what Fred was pitching there. It would cut down the amount of time you both get to go back to and how much time you actually spend at Drift Weaver's Bay. Because it's basically you would spend, again, like actual shore leave, like, I don't know, a couple of days there and then get shipped back out either to the same outpost or to another outpost. As opposed to prior, where you just go to Expedition HQ, grab whichever mission that you're going to grab, and then be on your way. Left with more questions than answers. I mean, if nothing else, I have the answers of you guys wouldn't mind having more clear or more directive,
Yeah.
I guess instructions. I guess by best way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
You guys would like to keep the choice of said objectives or methodologies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's the illusion. It's the thing in games where it's like player choice versus illusion of player choice. It's just like if you give them a little bit.
Well, I would
they're
say
still
there is
happy.
a fast I have to then request of you guys is that your characters should then be okay with getting such clear cut objectives. Like that's a catch.
Mm.
Like with the mini campaign, it worked because you guys were all evil, more or less, to varying degrees, and you were okay with getting told by a tyrannical power to do the thing, and they get paid. It's like watching, like a bounty hunter at work, right? Do the thing, get paid. The catch to this is when you start questioning it with your morals and ethics and whatnot. Disgusting.
Oh, how barbaric.
Perish the thought. Alas.
So yeah, that's the only catch to that. Is that if you get told to do it, you have to actually go do it. Like you guys want actual clear directives.
Mm-hmm.
Either that or clear. Well, clear is it's
Relative term.
yeah, but clear. I like a goal or a problem-based approach with objectives.
Can you give me an
Do
example?
this because of reason.
Okay.
For example, maybe a bunch of Skorken have raided a food supply. We have a problem. How do we fix that? Deal with the Skorken, get the food back. This is a very arbitrary, simple one, but
So it's a matter of like you have technically two different objectives, but they both accomplish the same goal of dealing with the Skorken and stealing our food.
yes.
Okay.
Or
Give it a
there could be a more
purpose.
serious problem, like maybe there's something happening in the city
It's a psychopath murder.
that is making, or maybe people are getting diseased for some reason, and we have to figure out, okay, why are people getting sick? Can we get a cure for this illness? Can we combine the efforts, or do we have to split up and do or focus first on one thing then the other, triage and then a cure, or like a set goal can mean many different paths to solving a problem. That's one of the reasons I like problem-based exploration, as it were.
I hear you. I gotta say though that you guys have a hard time determining even the first step on those matters. I've noticed.
It's true.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I mean, okay, first off, I shouldn't say that this is going to apply to literally every mission. I don't think, again, similar to how I was talking before, like, I'm not going to make the game so clear-cut and video game-esque that you might as well just go play a video game that, I don't know, like Darkest Dungeon or something like that. There's an element of realism, not reality, but realism to all of it. So they won't be able to give you clear-cut objectives. They won't be able to give you even easy-to-follow objective-oriented or goal-oriented tasks and stuff like that. You guys might just get nothing. You know, stuff like that.
I mean, that's fair.
But yeah, overall, I'm just trying to get a gauge, meta-wise, what you guys are thinking.
grab the best of both worlds.
If it were only so easy. I think the way I would have to answer this then is actually changing a bit how the world works.
In what degree? Or can you not share that?
How many expeditionaries there actually are.
Right.
Because before, the expeditionaries were basically just another term for like a paramilitary, or not paramilitary, actual military force.
Like a militia.
That's essentially what they were. They were a colonization military force. I think now, if I were to do what I'm thinking of doing, you guys might have your numbers stripped down to be essentially a supplementary divisionary force or specialist force, which I guess is what you guys were in the first place, but just there's so many of you. And you guys weren't specialists in the sense of they would call you in to handle a specific task. It's more that you're a specialist in like a special forces sense. You could do any task. And, you know, if you have 1 million SAS operatives in the world on call, then all the counter-terrorist operations in the world could probably be fulfilled easily.